Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is Amatazar from the Chicago camp coming back at you again with another lesson entitled, No Plan B, Hand to the Plow. So the month of May, or the end of the month of May, was a milestone for me because it marked 1 year since I first started coming to camp. And I'm grateful and gracious for the Lord just increasing my knowledge and understanding in this truth. And I thank the Lord for the elder brothers that have brought me along and who have screened my videos and all those things and supported me and encouraged me and opened up my understanding in anything I have questions about. So there is no plan B. Bottom line, once you are awakened to this truth, and it's better for you to never have known it, okay, than to leave it. Let's go ahead and start looking at some scriptures. This is Luke 9:62, and Yahweh Shai said unto him, No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Okay, so once you start out in this truth, there is no turning back. Hebrews 10:38, and it reads, says, Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. Okay? Alright, so we don't want to draw back into perdition. Alright, we want to constantly endure. Alright, we want to constantly endure. Let's go James 1:8. It says, A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Okay? 1 minute you say, hey, I'm with the Lord, and the next minute you're not with the Lord. Because what are you doing? What are you doing? You trying to make yourself comfortable in Esau's kingdom? James 4:8. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Okay? So you have to draw near to the Lord. Let's look at 2 Peter. Two and 21. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. Verse 22. But it is happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. Alright, so many are called and few are chosen. Alright, you cannot turn back after having put your hand to the plow. Alright, let's look at Proverbs 26 and 10. It says, The great power that formed all things both rewarded the fool and rewarded transgressors. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returned to his folly. Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. So there's more hope of a fool, all right, than a man who turns back into his own folly. All right. Let's go to, I don't have this written down. Let's go. See if I can find it. 2 Corinthians. Let's talk about what Paul had to go through. Alright. Let's look at a little bit of what Paul had to go through. So here's Paul talking about some of the things he has suffered, okay, for Christ's sake. We'll start at verse 23. Are they ministers of Hamashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more. In labors more abundant. In stripes above measure. In prisons more frequent. In deaths oft. Of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Okay, he's talking about being physically beaten, right? Thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Okay, he was stoned as for dead. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. 3 times he was in a shipwreck. It says, at night and a day I have been in the deep. What is the deep? Okay, he suffered shipwreck. He was in the deep water. 26, in journeyings often, in perils of water, in perils of robbers, in perils by my own countrymen, in perils by the heathen, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in perils in the sea, in perils among false brethren, in weariness and painfulness, in watchings often, in hunger and thirst, in fastings often, in cold and nakedness, beside those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the care of the churches. Who is weak and I am not weak? Who was offended and I burn not? If I must needs glory, I will glory Salakia, I will glory of the things which concern my infirmities. Okay? So, Paul is glorying in all of these, if you want to call them battle scars, back in the ancient days, men, they gloried in their battle scars, when they got stabbed in the chest or stabbed in the side, and they had the battle marks to prove it, and the little kids were like, oh my God, what happened to you? And like, yeah, I was stabbed. So Paul is glorying in all the things that he had to suffer for Yahushua. Okay? And when you look at this, it pales in comparison to the things that we go through today. It really does. Okay? It really, really, really does. But I want to close with Sirach 2. Alright? And it reads, my son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient, and when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear Yahweh, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in Yahweh, and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear, and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For Yahweh is full of compassion and mercy and long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in the time of affliction. Woe be to fearful hearts, and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth 2 ways. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about no plan B, hand to the plow. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. Okay, you want Yahushua to be that faithful counselor for you. Okay, you want Yahushua to stand in the gap and say, nah, he good. David talked about a man, who didn't have sin imputed. Right? That's what you want. You want Yahushua to stand for you. Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will ye do when Yahweh shall visit you? They that fear Yahweh will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear Yahweh will seek that which is well, pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. How can the law be done away with? Okay? We're going to obtain glory by the law, right? Not the written letter of the law, but the what? The spirit of the law. They that fear Yahweh will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of Yahweh and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. I pray this lesson was edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.